Hi guys, Rainbow Heart Freedom Eagle here. The title of this video is the 3 biggest mistakes people suffering with chronic autoimmune diseases do every day and how to flip it to your advantage. I help people suffering with autoimmune disease with feeling pain and exhaustion all the time. Let's get into it. Okay. Let's see. To eat or not to eat? That is the question. What the heck does that mean? Let's see if this will show. Anti-inflammatory food. Why is this important? First, let's start with some definitions. These inflammatory foods, let's talk about inflammatory and anti-inflammatory foods. These inflammatory foods include refined vegetable oils, processed meats, fried foods, and processed sugar. That's from the good inside. Now, from ancestor supplements, avoiding inflammatory foods, such as what? Common food intolerances such as gluten, pasteurized dairy, processed foods, and table sugar. You're like, oh God, that's all the yummy foods. These foods may trigger the body's immune response, leading to isolated or systemic inflammation and a weakened immune system overall. So what are a couple of other names that might be more familiar? Anti-inflammatory foods, clean foods, toxin-free foods, whole foods, unprocessed foods, AIP diet, paleo diet, anti-inflammatory foods, power foods, medicinal foods, nutrient-dense foods, antioxidant. Oh, I already said nutrient-dense. So even if it's not the exact same wording, it's all within the same realm. What are some concrete examples or stories? Okay, let's talk about the first. Hold on. Let me get comfortable. Let's talk about the first tier. Pure food. What do I mean? One ingredient only. Mono, like when your body eats one thing at a time, you can test it out and know whether it agrees with you or not, because there's no other factors in your diet, meaning you're only eating one food at a time. One ingredient only foods. Whole, they're unprocessed, like the food that it's closest to its original state when it's alive, like an apple. You know, as if it was picked from the tree or the ground. No ingredients list. Oh God, some of the peel, like the avocado and watermelon, my goodness, they're GMO, they're manufactured. It's like, what is that? Is that a dummy fruit? Yeah, stay away from GMO, genetically modified. So it's best when it's only one ingredient and nothing else. Organic is even better because it has 0 or less pesticides and chemicals. What are some examples? Unprocessed beef, steroid-free, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, grass-fed. Okay, so the second tier. The first tier I said was pure food, like in its whole state, like the apple. Second tier, anti-inflammatory foods. No matter what disease you're battling or healing from, one thing in common is always eat more anti-inflammatory foods. So, according to the Good Inside, some chronic inflammation is linked to almost every disease. It makes sense to try and reduce the inflammation. Limiting the intake of foods that can trigger inflammation in the body. According to the Goebbels Institute, less immediate threats that can trigger a smoldering type of low-grade inflammation, which over time leads to tissue damage and disease. So you may not even notice, but eating like all these fast food with the seed oils, you may not have like an immediate and intense allergic reaction, but the low grade and over time, it actually is creating disease within your body. You're probably like, oh my God, this is so boring, blah, blah, blah. We know this. Exercise, eat right, do the right things. Well, just stick with me. Let's get into the nitty gritty of it because it is going somewhere. So we can take control. We can take our life back, our health, our vitality, and our wellness back. We can take responsibility for ourselves. We don't have to just listen to outside factors or other quote-unquote leaders that think or pretend that they have our best interest. When we educate ourselves, we can know what is really right for our bodies, and the proof is in the pudding when you actually heal your diseases. Through these different lifestyle changes, which include diet. First, diet is what we're focusing on right now. So the best part is that while a healthy diet helps to suppress chronic inflammation, the same phytochemicals found in vegetables also strengthen the body's ability to turbocharge an immune response to more serious threats like those from infections. That's according to the Goebbels Institute. AIP. Have you heard of that diet? Autoimmune protocol? So if you have autoimmune disease, you probably have. It's more strict than paleo diet. And why am I going to go and touch base upon this? Well, how does it link with inflammatory food versus anti-inflammatory food? Let's see. The AIP diet aims to help manage inflammation through an elimination diet. So basically, it's really strict. You're going to eliminate almost everything. And you're just going to introduce and reintroduce foods one at a time to see how it affects your body in a adverse or bad way, or if it's neutral or supportive. How do we know this? We look at our biomarkers. When I say biomarkers, we can record and measure different things such as like sleep, sex drive, mental clarity, strength, stamina, gas, bloating, morning wood, things like that. Well, of course, morning wood for men. So this AIP diet, it aims to help manage inflammation through an elimination diet, removing foods from the diet, then replacing them gradually. You may consume moderate amounts of fresh fruit, bone broth, minimally processed meat, and other items. What's the difference between paleo and AIP? Paleo is more broad, AIP is more strict. People on a paleo diet will focus on specific foods such as eggs, seeds, fruits, vegetables, and minimally processed meat. The person on AIP diet will move toward a paleo diet, but they will go through a stage of elimination and reintroduction. This means they will eat similar foods to those on a paleo diet, minus the foods that seem to cause symptoms. Do I totally support this? No, I have my reasons. I'm not going to go into it. I'm just introducing these concepts to you for the sake of this video's topic. So, what are the specific foods in the elimination phase of AIP, autoimmune protocol diet? Foods like grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, nightshade vegetables, nightshades such as like potato, tomato, eggplant, bell peppers. Eggs and dairy are completely avoided. Tobacco, alcohol, coffee, oils, food additives, refined and processed sugars, certain medications such as NSAIDs or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs should also be avoided. Examples of the NSAIDs are like ibuprofen, naproxen, high-dose aspirin. All this talk of inflammation, did you know probiotics can help to balance bacteria in the gut by also fighting low-grade inflammation related to aging? Probiotics, what are they? Probiotics are live microbial organisms that can help and restore and maintain the balance of beneficial bacteria in your gut. Why is the gut important in detoxification? So I went from the elimination diet, showing some inflammatory foods, and those are the ones to avoid. And then now talking about the gut and probiotics. These probiotics are good bacteria that live in your gut. The gut is not just your stomach, it starts in your mouth and it ends in your anus. So it's really the whole tract. And we all have different organisms living there. We want to increase the good bacteria and decrease the bad bacteria or pathogens. Why? Because it'll help us feel better and be healthier and stronger and, more beautiful and youthful. Feel better overall. So I was asking, why is the gut important in detoxification? Okay, not only does the gut play a role in detoxification, also in nutrient absorption and immune function. Over 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So it makes sense to take care of it. I mean, have you heard of the gut-skin connection? Have you heard of the gut-brain connection? Or they call it axis? Either way, everything is interrelated and connected, all the systems in our body. So the microbes in our gut are like little factory workers who process the good, the bad, the ugly. It's their job to ship nutrients to where they need to go. Think vitamins, minerals, proteins to help you think, lift heavy things, to calculate, as well as pass along toxins that can be excreted through urine, perspiration, and healthy bowel movements. One of the first ways we can facilitate proper treatment and tune-up is through some probiotics. What was the first way? Probiotics. What are examples of probiotics? Fermented foods like kimchi, kefir, yogurt, not the unhealthy yogurt that like mainstream stores sell. Really clean yogurt that's just plain without additives. Same for everything else, really. Like the kimchi as well. Get the ones without additives. Everything, I'm going to tell you. Without toxins, without preservatives, additives, emulsifiers, anti-caking agents, all these things. We want clean. Like I said before, one ingredient is the best, the least amount of ingredients. You don't even want an ingredients list. So what are examples of probiotics? Fermented foods, again, such as kimchi, kefir, yogurt, miso, tempeh, kombucha, sauerkraut. Other examples of food sources with beneficial bacteria, i.e. probiotics, could be sourdough, the real sourdough, not the fake one. There's a lot of fake ones. I'm not going to go into the details of how to determine the real sourdough here. Maybe I'll answer it in a comment or do another video on it. But the real stuff, like the real sourdough, pomegranate, and the real expensive Parmesan Reggiano that you have to grate without all the additives and toxins. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's imperative. When you're detoxing, It takes a lot of effort in the discipline, the money, the lifestyle change. It's a lot. The medicines or supplements and herbs you'll be taking. So, what's the point of reintroducing all this toxic food with all these preservatives and additives? Those are toxins and that ruins your gut. That does the exact opposite of what the probiotics are doing for you and your gut. So it's like pressing on the gas and the brake at the same time. You don't want to cancel each other out or make it worse. Okay, pomegranate. Pomegranate is an example of one of the natural food sources of probiotics. There's a lot, really. Like, for example, the cabbage, you can tell who prepared it because of the bacteria on the hands of the preparer. Like when they make sauerkraut and they touch the cabbage, or they make sourdough and they're kneading the bread, kneading the dough. I know that sounds kind of nasty, like, ew, that human touched it and it can be linked to that human. Cabbage from all around the world, like different kinds of types or species, can be tweaked a little bit. So the bacteria, the probiotics, is slightly different. It can be traced, like to which part of the world, or even like to the human that helped to prepare it, to ferment these probiotic foods. So the pomegranate, coming back to pomegranate, has been long revered for its health-promoting properties. I have a pomegranate over there. I haven't opened it. Okay, among its benefits is the remarkable ability to enhance gut health by increasing levels of a beneficial gut bacterium called Akkermansia musi. I think I typed it wrong. Mucinifila. Mucinifila. Oh my goodness. Either I've been saying it wrong the whole time, Akkermansia mucinifila, or I typed it wrong. I'm not sure. We'll just go with that. You can type Akkermansia, AKKERMAN as in Nancy, SIA. And then mucinifila. Oh my goodness. I typed it as mucinifila twice. So maybe I've been saying it wrong this whole time. And now that I'm reading it out loud, okay, you get the point. Akkermansia mucinifila, however you say it, you find it, type it yourself. This probiotic, or this healthy beneficial gut bacterium called Akkermansia mucinifila is a special type of bacteria that resides in the mucus layer of the gut lining. It helps maintain gut health by breaking down mucin, the protective gel-like substance that lines the gut epithelium, thereby promoting gut bacteria integrity. Well, what does that mean? Okay, so I have his face, what's his name? Anyways, he helped his mom cure her cancer with pomegranate because of the Akkermansia mucinifila. I'm not used to saying it like that. I think I've been saying it wrong for months. I kept saying munciphilia. Anyways, these are one of the things that I think it's Dr. William Lee, discovered that helped his mom heal her cancer. So you can find specific foods with specific things to aid in healing specific diseases. That was just an example of another probiotic that is not necessarily fermented, but you can find it in natural food sources. And it states that this Akkermansia is associated with improved metabolic health, very important. People need to be taught this in society, in schools, really, metabolic health. Akkermansia is also associated with reduced obesity, reduced inflammation, and insulin resistance. It's also been shown to modulate immune responses and reduce gut inflammation, which is implicated in various digestive disorders. So, pomegranate has a rich source of polyphenols, particularly ellagitannins, which exert potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatory effects. Pomegranate also contains soluble fibers that serve as prebiotic, PRE, is the food of probiotics. So we want to feed the probiotics. We want to put probiotics into our gut, and we want to feed them too. Okay, so these prebiotic fibers in the pomegranate are easily fermented by gut microbes, producing short-chain fatty acids that support gut barrier function and overall intestinal health. Inflammatory properties of pomegranate polyphenols also contribute to an overall healthier gut environment, thus reducing gut inflammation. So many reasons. Okay, I think we beat the dead horse with pomegranate. Akkermansia, how do you say it? Mucinifila. You know what? When this is over, oh, who knows? Might even just put it in the Google and see how it's really pronounced. Okay, another example of these probiotics. Okay, we talked about Akkermansia. Now there's Lactobacillus rhamnosus. I was also saying this wrong for a long time because the doctor that I learned it from was saying it wrong, and I had to figure it out later that the spelling and the pronunciation was different. So forgive me, but you get the point. L. rhamnosus strains are naturally found in foods. Consumption of these foods would give you some benefit. Like what? Mood, uplifted mood. Like, you know, those neurotransmitters that make you feel good. For instance, a study on Parmesan Reggiano cheese showed that it can have up to 10 million CFU, colony-forming units, of viable lactic acid bacteria per gram of product when you eat it. Okay, that's delicious. This rhamnosus, L. rhamnosus or Lactobacillus rhamnosus, when I first learned about it, the doctor called it rhamnose, but as I looked it up, it was actually spelled rhamnosus. So we all make mistakes. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor or not. This is also found, like the rhamnosus and L. reuteri. These probiotics are found in examples such as the Parmesan Reggiano, that's real, and the authentic sourdough, and it helps to elevate and boost your mood. It increases things like the serotonin and the other feel-good neurotransmitters. I'm trying to remember what they are off the top of my head. But anyways, it's the chemicals that boost your mood so you can feel more relaxed, pleasant, and joyful, and good mood, happy. Who doesn't want that, right? Okay, some reuteri foods. L. reuteri or L. lactobacillus. What are these things that I'm telling you? These are specific examples of probiotics. L. reuteri can be found in salmon, breast milk. Woohoo, breast milk. Sweet potatoes, artichokes, and beans. These are also mood boosters, feel-good chemicals for your brain. They boost serotonin, melatonin, endorphins. Again, referring to the brain-gut axis. Okay. So here are some examples that I will show you of how to read labels on foods, whether they're processed. Well, actually, yeah, if it's just like an apple or unprocessed whole food, it should not have a label. Okay, this is, let's see, how do I look? Oh my gosh, was my head cut off the whole time? I was reading, so I didn't see myself. I hope not. Okay, you see this? This is Hue brand of chocolate. It's healthier. Why? Let me show you. I'm going to read it to you because it's kind of dark here. This is the kind of stuff that you want to look for when you're purchasing processed foods, if you purchase processed foods. And what did I call it? Oh, wow, we're already at 25 minutes. Okay, this is Hue, get back to human dark chocolate gems. So it says organic, paleo, no refined sugar, no cane sugar, no sugar alcohols, no erythritol, no soy or gluten, no palm oil, no lecithins, no emulsifiers. If you get this 100%, all this no, great. If you don't, well, the least amount of additives, the better. Ingredients: organic cacao, organic unrefined coconut sugar, organic cocoa butter. So that's one example of how you can find a treat like a candy or a chocolate without all the crap. Let's go to other examples. Okay, another example for chocolate would be Honey Mama's. I don't have it with me right now. Honey Mama's lavender rose chocolate truffle bars, or just any flavor chocolate truffle bars. I don't have this. Oh, actually I do, but I'm not going to dig it out of the trash. Another example would be Bellwether Farms sheep yogurt. I'm not going to read you all the ingredients because it's this video is getting kind of long, but the ingredients from this chocolate of Honey Mama's and this yogurt from Bellwether, it specifically has, okay, I'll read you a little bit. Pasteurized sheep milk. Active cultures of S. thermophilus. Probiotic. L, or lactobacillus, I don't even know how to spell it right. Bugalgricus, L. acidophilus, and bifidus. Okay? If you have other stuff like gum, whatever, guar gum, acacia gum, or just, different emulsifiers, different additives, you don't want that. You don't want that in anything, like your yogurt, your chocolate, doesn't matter. Here's something else that's good. Here's some olives. This brand actually doesn't have additives, so I'm showing it to you. What is it, pearls? Well, anyways, it just says olives. It's too dark, I can't really read it. But that's what you look for when you shop. This doesn't have any additives either. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of time to go shopping in grocery stores, whether they be health food stores or regular grocery stores, finding foods that have zero additives and toxins, just the pure stuff like hay, olives, and red wine, and sea salt. This has organic strained tomatoes. What is it called? Bio Nature. Okay, so it's hard. It's not easy. It's time consuming. But when you read all the labels, like when you buy juices, it's very important that you read them, because even though you buy the same brand, some of them will say natural flavors. That is bad. That's code for, in the United States, we're allowed to put small doses of toxins in there. That's what natural flavors stand for, code for that. Okay. So I showed you some examples of some good stuff without the additives, which are toxins, which ruin your gut, ruin everything in your body, imbalance the hormones, everything. hormones, metabolic health, you name it. Okay. The first tier was whole foods, pure foods, unprocessed foods. Second tier is anti-inflammatory foods. Okay. The enzymes, minerals, and vitamins, they boost the immune system. They aid in detoxification. Why do I keep bringing up this word detoxification? You'll see. Oh, what was the title of this video? Something about exhaustion. The 3 biggest mistakes people suffering with chronic autoimmune diseases, yes, plural, autoimmune diseases do every day, and how to flip it to your advantage. That's why we have this first topic of anti-inflammatory foods, and I keep bringing up the word detoxification. Going back to the title, healing the chronic autoimmune diseases. Okay. So, what supplements, minerals, and vitamins aid in detoxification? Let's list 4 things right here from Ancestor Supplements. Probiotics, organs, like beef organs, leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables. Number 4, fruit. What are opposites of? So this whole topic of this video is, well, honestly, I'm going to link them together. This is the first topic. Talking about chronic autoimmune diseases. This is the first topic, the anti-inflammatory foods. What is a non-example of anti-inflammatory foods? Oh, so yes, this is the general topic, anti-inflammatory. Is this even showing? Anti-inflammatory foods. And we started off with to eat or not to eat. What does that mean? 2 things at least. It means what's the content of what you are eating and the timing of it. When are you eating? When are you fasting? That's why it's to eat or not to eat. The content and the timing. Okay, so for this video, to eat or not to eat topic, eating 24/7 is not an example of how to heal the chronic autoimmune diseases. Eating all the time. Okay, so that's the timing, number 1. Number 2, eating all the foods that are supposed to be eliminated from elimination diet for a majority of your diet instead of the power foods or medicinal foods. Instead of eating cake once a day or a week, having it in big portions several times a day and daily. So yes, you are allowed to have treats like cake, but you don't want to eat it. You don't want to be a glutton and overdo it and feed all the bad pathogens in your gut, in your body, and harm yourself. Other examples of inflammatory foods, since we were talking about anti-inflammatory foods, which are good. Other examples of inflammatory foods would be gluten, pasteurized dairy, processed foods, and table sugar. Do I have some of these? Yes. But the percentage matters in the timing. Now, why is this so important? Like, if we don't heed these guidelines of, like I said, oh, it's bad to eat 24/7 all the time and to be eating inflammatory foods. What happens if we do this, if we don't heed these precautions? Have you ever felt sick, weak, shaky, and unstable from having sugar spikes and crashes when you eat sugars and desserts on an empty stomach before even buffering it with the veggies and meats that would slow down the sugar absorption in your body? This is an immediate result of not eating power foods with in a particular order of foods. Yes, there is a science to which ones you should eat first to slow down the sugar absorption, to prevent the spikes and crashes of sugar. Have you ever felt, I'm just thinking if I should go deeper into that example or if I just move on to the next example because this video is getting long already. It's at 36 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to go deeper into it. I'm going to move on. So, have you ever felt sick or even had a low-grade inflammation because you ate a bunch of processed foods and seed oils, like maybe junk food from a bag like chips, or went to fast food, eating all those fried foods from a fast food chain like burger and fries? These are inflammatory. This is another immediate response to not consuming power foods or medicinal foods as a majority of your diet as a way to start off your meals. Okay, example 3. Inflammatory foods not only have the power to contribute to poor gut health and weaken the immune system, but also negatively impact our organs, slowing down and weakening detoxification. Ding, 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 ding. Why that word detoxification? Again, you'll see. So, if you eat these inflammatory foods, you can find yourself with less energy, more joint discomfort, and unhealthy heart. Avoiding these trigger foods, you'll give your body a better chance at healing and repairing and boosting the immune system. But eating these trigger foods actually makes it more hospitable. It says, hey, party in the house to the parasites. What do I mean by parasites? Yes, there's etheric or spiritual or energetic parasites, which do correlate with the physical parasites. Whether you can see them or not, these, to me, are more important than the war that is outside of you and your body. These things inside of you, these tiny little things that we may not be able to see with the naked eye, called parasites, feed off of these toxins. They thrive on them. So you want to make your body inhospitable to these parasites. And I will talk more about this in the third video. This is going to be a 3-part series video. Three parts. So this is just the first part right here. I have to break it down because it's pretty long. Okay. So let me get my example. There is currently an epidemic of leaky gut in North America. Have you heard of IBS or irritable bowel syndrome? Not having a healthy gut because it is an imbalanced gut biome, or it's called dysbiosis, gut dysbiosis. It has holes like a hose that cannot function because it can't function properly because the water keeps leaking through the holes in the hose, coming out when it's not supposed to. This is why a lot of North American residents are having severe, unnecessary allergic reactions just to eating normal foods they used to always eat but cannot eat anymore due to severe histamine reactions, IBS, and other such discomforts. Good nutrients are leaking through the holes in the gut. Bad things are also leaking through the holes in the gut. Bad things like toxins and poop are leaking through the gut and going into the bloodstream and other places that it's not supposed to go. This is why the discomfort, the brain fog, mood disorders, severe inflammation, allergic histamine reactions, and unnecessary pain and suffering, both internally and externally, occur. Now, I'm going to show you an example of this video with regards to the leaky gut. Okay. What are we at now? 41 minutes? Oh my goodness. Wow. This might even be a 3-hour video when I paste them all together, but we'll see. Okay. We're still recording. All right, let me show you example of this leaky gut video. This video clip. Okay.
Concerns are the GMO seeds.
I would say I think the biggest concern is that some of these crops already have a pesticide in them. There's a certain crop called BT corn,
hear that?
and it has a BT gene. When the insects eat this corn, it makes their stomachs explode. And what I think is really interesting about this is that what it's doing is it's creating holes in the stomach lining of the bugs. And something that Americans are dealing with right now at really high rates is something called leaky gut syndrome, and that means that we're getting holes in the lining of our intestines. Why did we think that this would affect insects and not affect humans?
That would be the $64,000 question here, so thank you, Courtney.
So it's primarily the
Okay.
corn in America.
All right, so those were people talking to other Congress people to battle against these unhealthy things, such as the BT corn, which is causing one of the things that's causing the leaky gut. Like I mentioned, all the other toxins, which are the additives, unnecessary additives in food, but it's done by design. You have to ask yourself who's doing it and why. I'm not going to get into that here. It's probably going to happen. No, I'll talk about that in the third video. This is just video 1. They'll all be linked together to answer the 3 biggest mistakes that people with chronic autoimmune diseases do to keep them exhausted and how to flip it to their advantage. Oh my God, I actually remember the title. So I personally had leaky gut, and it took me over a year to heal it. It was so isolating. It was so painful physically, mentally, emotionally. I wanted to commit suicide. I couldn't sleep. And at one point, it was really embarrassing because I was teaching a class in person where I had to, I was teaching a class on vision improvement naturally, like, without surgery and without surgery, glasses, contacts, laser, all that. Just naturally, how to improve your vision naturally. My vision was fine at that time, and my eyes looked like they got punched because they were so inflamed. I had, at the worst points in my life, I had a flare which lasted so long at the worst point, at the pinnacle worst points. Like I said, I wanted to commit suicide because 1, it was so painful, 2, physically painful. My skin was all flared up. Imagine you have a carrot or a potato, or you're a carrot, and you peel all the skin off. There's no barrier, so it freaking hurts. Like you're just walking like a wounded person in a war who got burned or bombed, and you have no skin. There's no barrier. It just hurts all the time. And people are mean and rude assholes saying, why don't you just take a pill? Why don't you put a cream on? Can you fix that? It's like, fuck you. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know that I couldn't sleep every day for 3 months straight with all the pain and discomfort. And it's very isolating. You get to find out who your real friends are, who's actually going to be there for you, and who's going to just, and who the assholes are. And whether it be your friends or colleagues or just people in general, strangers, people gather around food when it comes to social community and gathering. It's very isolating when you're healing this. It took me, like I said, it took me a little over a year. And, you know, you can't eat with people because people always go out to eat at restaurants or eat food with toxins. And when you're at this peak point and having leaky gut, everything triggers a flare, causes reactions, and then you don't even know if it's going to last an hour or a day or a week or 2 weeks. So you're afraid to eat. You can't just eat with people because you have a limited safe list of which you can eat without triggering a flare. Or you might just be in a flare for a long time waiting for it to go away, even though it was like 1, 2, or 3 weeks ago. Okay. What else? I had bleeding, cracked skin all over. I felt isolated. I wanted to die. Yes, it was a nightmare. It felt like there's wounds all over and there's lemon and salt in them all the time. So yeah, it stung and hurt all the time. It was embarrassing looking like that. But you know what? You have to live your life. I got stronger from that. I learned who my friends were at the time, and you know, I just got stronger in so many levels, you know, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. It's like, okay, it really was a dark night of the soul, and I learned so much. You know, I've healed other autoimmune diseases in my life over the decades, but going through so many different experiences really is my training. And no, I don't want to repeat it, but when someone goes through something, your pain becomes your power, your mess becomes your message. Like, it's in their blood, it's in their bones. They know what they're talking about because they've been there and succeeded through healing it. Versus just talking to maybe a doctor or someone who's just going by the book, but they can't relate to you and what you're going through because they've never experienced it for themselves. So it's not really connecting like empathy or sympathy wise, or you know what I mean? Like, they get it because they've been there. I get it. Okay, so this physical, emotional pain of this lesson really influenced me to transform my lifestyle forever, and I will only continue to improve and implement more as I age. I'm so grateful that I learned, you know, I had a doctor, a healer group, and you know, we were all going through the same thing. I succeeded. Others didn't. I put in the work, so I succeeded. And yeah, that's how it is. So with regards to the leaky gut and eating toxic foods and anti-inflammatory foods, inflammatory foods, and detoxification, I am tying it all together. Eating, what are some of the repercussions of, besides, you know, in addition to my personal experience that was at its pinnacle downfall, oxymoron there, I didn't plan on that, but what are what are the other repercussions of eating inflammatory diet? Eating a pro-inflammatory diet increases the risk of developing chronic conditions and can worsen existing pain. For instance, 30% higher risk of cardiovascular disease was found in those with most pro-inflammatory diets, which was linked to poor cholesterol profiles. Additionally, a high level of inflammation is linked to 49% increased risk of premature death, with higher C-reactive protein levels associated with a 42% increased risk. Okay, so how? Finally, we're going to tie this video up. How? How do we start implementing what we're supposed to do with regards to anti-inflammatory foods? I can't hear you. Okay. So we can hit it from many different angles. What to add to your diet, what to eliminate from your diet, when to eat and when not to eat, or when your eating window is and when your fasting window is. And you don't have to do a long fast. What I'm referring to just at this beginning stages is intermittent fasting. Like when you're sleeping, you don't eat. When it's daylight, you eat. That's just a nice, simple example of intermittent fasting. Many ways, many scenarios for intermittent fasting. And why? Why does that matter? The content of what you are eating and the timing, because it helps your body to get stronger, and if you do it the wrong way, it helps the parasites within you get stronger. We don't want that. Okay, so how do we do this? What to add to your diet, what to eliminate, when to eat, when not to eat, when you can eat cheat foods or inflammatory foods. Like for me, the percentage, tiny amount, okay? And when, like, don't eat it the first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Like, for example, get all your probiotics in first. Get your beef organs in first, your minerals, your polyphenols, all your healthy anti-inflammatory foods that's nutrient dense, all that good stuff, like the protein, the meat, the vegetables, all those whole and processed foods, probiotics, vitamins, minerals. Get all that good stuff first, and then if you have a cheat, go ahead and have it afterwards, and just a little bit. So, you're training yourself, training your taste buds and your body and your cravings and desires and addictions. You're training it. It will change when you change the content of what you ingest and the timing of it and the order. What do I mean by order? Like when I was talking about the sugar spikes, for example, eating the salads first, the raw vegetables first, and like the proteins, the meats first, or after. Like eat the salad, eat the raw vegetables, and then eat the meats, and then have the carbs last. What do I mean by carbs? Whether it be a healthy form of carbs such as sweet potato, or unhealthy such as a baked good like cake, have that last after. Because when you have the other stuff first, it buffers it so that the sugar spikes aren't so high and the sugar crashes aren't so low. It makes you feel like shit. Okay, so how else? What to eat, what not to eat, when to eat, and the order. When I mentioned the eating, when to eat, kind of like the circadian rhythm, follow the sun. I'm just being really simple here. I'm not going to go into like hours and numbers and eating windows and stuff. But like eating when the sun's up and stop eating when the sun's down. That's just a clear-cut, simple example. Okay, eliminate seed oils. What's seed oils? Okay, so the history of seed oils is that it creates profit. It was originally used for industrial machinery. Someone said, let's put it in the food. It saved money, created profit, but makes people sick. Remove seed oils. Corn, soy, canola, grapeseed. Rapeseed is, grape with the G, like grapes, like the fruit. Grapeseed, and then there's rape, R-A-P-E. Oh, that sounds gross. Rapeseed, that's canola. In Europe, that's what they call it. Sunflower oil, sunflower seed oil, vegetable oil, etc. Those are the bad stuff. That's inflammatory. No, no, no. Naughty, naughty. Replace those with the good fats, good oils and fats. What are they? Get your paper, get your pen, take notes. You ready? Okay, replace them with these good oils and fats. Avocado, the avocado oil, olive oil or extra virgin olive oil, grass-fed butter, ghee, coconut oil, duck fat, lard, grass-fed beef tallow. Okay, so when you have the inflammatory foods, it creates more inflammation. Duh, just like it says in the name. All over in the whole body and in the gut. When this happens, it weakens the immune system, negatively impacts the organs, and it's slow. That causes the body to slow down and weaken detoxification. That's bad. We want to strengthen our detoxification. It's like having a clean house. We want to keep up with taking the trash out. We don't want it accumulating and stinking up the house or being too cluttered. We want it clean. We want circulation. We want flow. That allows for more vitality and wellness. Okay, so like we mentioned, the foods that are pro-inflammatory or may cause more intolerances are these. I'll give you the list. You can lessen them and or eliminate them completely, which I understand can be hard in the beginning. So you can progress, whether days, weeks, years, decades. You know, people say, oh, I want to quit drugs. I want to quit dairy. I want to quit sugar. I want to quit coffee, whatever, cigarettes. The point is, just start. You can start small. You want to set yourself up for success. If you start too big, you might set yourself up for failure. If you start small, at least you can gradually transform yourself and your lifestyle and set yourself up for success because it's more manageable. It's not such a shock to your system on all levels. Not just physically, but, physically, emotionally, all of the above. Socially. Okay, so how? We are on the how. How else can we do this? Wow, we're at 58 minutes. I am wrapping it up. We're getting there, folks. How else can we implement this topic of, does it show? To eat or not to eat with regards to anti-inflammatory foods and when to eat. You can write down what high nutrient dense anti-inflammatory foods to add to your diet in each category. Get your pen, guys. Okay, 1, beef organs, or if you're vegan, go for other stuff. 2, probiotics. 3, cruciferous vegetables and leafy greens. 4, bioflavonoids. Oh, I'll just put these together. Bioflavonoids and polyphenols, which are the rainbow-colored produce, rainbow-colored vegetables, fruits and vegetables. What do I mean? Really dark colors like you don't want iceberg lettuce. No nutrients. That's just nothing, just water. You want like purple cabbage, red beets. Those are like the blues and greens and the blueberries. And then like for the, that has the resveratrol. And then for the, what I'm naming right now are the bioflavonoids and polyphenols. They help support your kidneys. That's another pathway for elimination. because we are talking about detoxification. The reds, like red bell pepper, strawberries, tomatoes, okay? The red, like the tomato, red and tomatoes, that's the lycopenes. Okay, so you want all the different colors of the rainbow, the reds, the greens, the blues, the blue purples, the oranges, the yellows, like for example, the yellows, the quercetins. You want all of those because they all have a different characteristic that's going to boost you in your body and your immune system. So write down the foods in those, was it 4? In those, I think it's 4, in those categories that I just named. I'll go over it again. Did you get in your notes? Beef organs, or any kind of organs. What do I mean? Beef organs is great, grass-fed, the one that's really pure. And if you're vegan, well, then you have to look for other supplements that are vegan or plant-based. So beef organs, number 1. Number 2, probiotics. Number 3, cruciferous vegetables and leafy greens. Number 4, bioflavonoids and polyphenols, which are, in parentheses, the rainbow-colored produce. These cruciferous vegetables and leafy greens, these are anti-inflammatory foods. They're not like, the heavy starchy stuff like potatoes or corn, rice and beans. So you get a feel. This looks like a pretty ketobiotic diet. The anti-inflammatory foods. Okay, so go ahead and write down, like I said, what nutrient-dense anti-inflammatory foods you're going to add to your diet from each of these categories. That's the first step. The second step, pick a day and remove the foods with toxins from your pantry. This is fun. Trust me. It may not be the easiest thing because I felt bad, like wasting thousands of dollars of food, but I had to let it go because honestly, I was spending more than thousands of dollars on my health to heal all these autoimmune diseases, which are honestly the cause of all these toxins, whether it be through the food, the air, the water, the inhalation or exposure from synthetic materials, like whether it be the carpet or the car or, the fumes, you name it, body products, beauty products. So getting rid of these foods with toxins from your house, from your pantry from your house, your refrigerator, your freezer will really help. So that was step 2. Step 3, pick a day and remove foods with toxins from your freezer and refrigerator. That's step 3. How else? 4, resources. Look up foods which are the dirtiest with pesticides. You must get organic for that year. What do you mean for that year? Look up on the search engines Dirty Dozen for that year. Like, 2024, 2026. You can do the same for fish and other foods too, like which fish has the most mercury or toxins or metals, things like that. Okay, so that was the 4 steps. 5, set the intention or focus for the night, the week, the month before. Meaning you can take baby steps. Like an intention could be, for example, add protein, add probiotics, or remove certain oils like the seed oils. You don't have to do it all intense. It depends on your personality. It depends where you're at. Maybe you have cancer and you really want to heal, so you're going to be more intense and have drastic measures. Or maybe you're just, I don't want to say pussyfooting, but maybe you're just like, okay, I'm just going to dip my toes in the water and kind of take my time. It's up to you. I don't know what your intention is, and I don't know where you're at with regards to your health and your motivation. Okay, so that was step 5, set intention or focus. 6, stock up on the whole foods. whole foods, unprocessed foods like dried beans that you actually have to cook, like in a crock pot. Apples. I don't really like apples. It's just an easy, visual to imagine a whole food like in its natural state. Stock up on whole foods, whether it be, I don't know, shrimp in the freezer or pasture raised eggs, pasture raised chickens, wild caught fish, kale from the farmer's market. Okay, step 7, stock up on healthier treats so that you are setting yourself up for success instead of having, like, I don't know, chips with toxins. You know what they are. I don't have to name them. I will tell you, instead of me naming the bad brands, let me give you an example for potato chips and tortilla chips. Okay, Boulder Canyon. It's not just that company. You have to actually read the ingredients. Like, get the one with avocado oil, potatoes, and sea salt. Why? Because if you get the seed oils, then that's still inflammatory. Like sunflower oil, what have you. You can get Boulder Canyon potato chips with, you have to read the flavors because some of them do have other toxins and additives. But the Boulder Canyon with potato, sea salt, and olive oil, or potato, sea salt, and avocado oil. So either avocado or olive oil. Now for the tortilla chips, for example, what is it? Siete brand. In Spanish, siete, 7, SIETE, siete brand chips. You really want to read it because you don't want all this other crap, like powdered or whatever crap that additives, chemicals that they add into it, and or seed oils. So go ahead and read that it's just, pure stuff like corn, salt, corn and sea salt, stuff like that. Okay, moving on. That's what I mean for stock up on healthier treats. Like this. Is it showing? Like the chocolate that's more pure, like Hue brand or Honey Mamas. Nourishing brands. Oh my gosh, 107, an hour and 7 minutes. I am wrapping it up. Okay, 7 was stock up on healthier treats. 8, reward system. Each time you implement a personally challenging step, if treat is not a healthier food, limit the amount and frequency. Like, for me, it's chocolate maven. Grand Petite Mocha Mousse cake. Oh my gosh, it's like a ganache and a mousse and the most decadent, moist, and to die for. I am not going to read that list because I already know I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat it. Sure, I may eat a little bit at a time, but oh my God, if I'm going to cheat, it's going to be worth it. And of course, I'm going to eat after eating all the probiotics and healthier foods first. Okay, so that reward system. 8, reward system each time you implement a personally challenging step. If the treat is not a healthier food, like I mentioned, my chocolate cake or whatever you call it, mousse, Grand Petite mousse, limit the amount and frequency. Yeah, that's easy for me because honestly, ever since I did the different things, like, I don't want to say parasite cleanses, but different variations of parasite cleanses, I don't crave sweets anymore. And that was years ago. So I not only trained my body not to crave the sweets and carbs, sugars. It's because I killed a lot of that stuff, those parasites that were having those cravings, desires, and addictions within me. So that's why it's not an issue anymore. Okay, Step 9, bedtime ritual. Write down in your journal what 3 good things you ate today that boost your overall diet and health in general. Like, for example, cruciferous vegetables, a beef organ, a probiotic. This boosts your good mood, good feelings, because you're actually focusing, allowing yourself to focus, allow yourself to feel the elevated mood. When you acknowledge and celebrate, writing these positive things that you had in your diet that day. Step 10, last step, woohoo! Implement these changes with an accountability partner. Share your wins, challenges, and support each other. If you want to do that, great. If not, that's cool too. If you just want to do it with your cat, tell your cat, whatever. It's just, it could be fun, and it could be have more long-term, keep you on a more long-term track, and have you keep doing it longer when you have a friend or an accountability partner. Okay, so what do you guys think of that 10 steps of how we could implement to eat or not to eat with regards to this first video out of 3, 3 biggest mistakes people who suffer with chronic autoimmune disorders, diseases, and how to diseases with exhaustion and pain and suffering, and how to flip it to their advantage. Did you learn anything in this video? God, I hope so. I talked for over an hour. And it was all substance. It wasn't just talking out of my ass like some people do. No, that's fun and games too, we gotta have a party vibe sometimes and relax. It's just, in this video, I really jam-packed it. And I look forward to seeing you in video 2 and video 3. 3 biggest mistakes people suffering with chronic autoimmune diseases do every day, and how to flip it to your advantage. This was video 1. Thank you for watching. It is done. I'll see you in video 2 and video 3. Okay? Healing, it is all that is. Bye, folks. Rainbow Heart Freedom Eagle signing out. Hi guys, Rainbow Heart Freedom Eagle here. Welcome to video 2. 2 out of 3. Okay, 2 out of 3 out of the series. What's the title? 3 biggest mistakes people suffering with chronic autoimmune diseases do every day, and how to flip it to your advantage. I help people suffering with autoimmune disease with feeling pain and exhaustion all the time, so that they can feel their vitality and wellness. Okay. What is this topic in video 2? This video 2. Pump it. Not Black Eyed Peas, Pump It, the song. Pump it. Pump it. I have the song in my head, but if you know what it is, go ahead and dance. If you don't, just watch me and laugh at me. Okay. What the heck is Pump It? Oh. Lymph drainage. Huh? What is pumping? What is lymph drainage? Okay, so the process by which the lymphatic system removes excessive fluid that accumulates in the interstitium during fluid exchange between plasma and interstitial fluid. What is the lymphatic system? Oh, I was going to show you a picture, but honestly, I didn't want to get all complicated and do the screen sharing like how Bear does, and I'm not going to get a picture. But just imagine the body. Look it up. Go look it up on a search engine. Imagine the body having all these like veins, looks like thunder or lightning, looks like lightning, like roots. Okay, there's certain places in the body, and that's called the lymphatic system. Looks like lightning, looks like roots. Just imagine that. I am not going to do screen sharing for the sake of getting this done. That definition is from Science Direct, immunology and microbiology. So what are other names that might be more familiar with regards to this pump it or lymph drainage? Lymph exercises, lymphatic exercises, lymph drainage, movement, circulation. What are some examples, stories with regards to lymph drainage? The lymphatic system or lymphoid system is an organ in vertebrae that is part of the immune system and complementary to the circulatory system, which is the blood. It consists of a large network of lymphatic vessels, lymph nodes, lymphoid organs, and lymphatic tissue and lymph. Why is this topic called pump it? Because you are the pump. It won't move by itself. You have to move it manually. How? You're moving everything. You're moving the blood, the lymph, the toxins. You're moving your body. The lymphatic system is one of the garbage collectors, and the trash cans are the lymph nodes. If your lymph nodes are tender, full, or bulging, like for example, I'm touching around here, you might have like a cold or respiratory or head cold. And like if you're having mucus in your nose and your throat, you could feel it bulging here if it's accumulating so much and the body's having a harder time emptying out the toxins, the infection, the mucus. It might be tender to touch when you touch the lymph nodes. You have lymph nodes in different parts of your body. I wish I had the picture, but I don't, so I'll just point with my hands and use my own body. Like, for example, here, in your armpits, in your groin muscles, in your cisterna chyla. Okay. You move the toxins and excretions through filtration organs. What are these filtration organs? The kidneys and the liver and the skin. Other detox pathways are the poop, the pee, the discharge from anywhere, from the genitals, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the breast, the skin, you name it. I do all these things to move my lymph. Things that I do attempt to do or regularly are specific lymphatic massage, hydration, sleep, enough sleep, dry brushing, exercise, deep, slow breathing sessions, or diaphragmatic breaths, and legs up the wall to support my lymphatic system in doing its job to clean my body. Okay. Let's do a demonstration. You can actually take notes. And if you want a copy of your own, you can join our Patreon. I believe it's only $15 a month to become our patron, and you can find all these links there. Okay, so this specific, let me get the camera. The specific lymphatic massage you do, oh, you can't even see me. Oh, gee, hold on. What do I do? Okay, maybe we can move it. Okay. Hello! You can see me now. What is that? Demonstration. We're going to do 7 of these specific lymphatic massage, and yes, it does matter the order that we do them. So we do them in this order, 1 through 7. Okay. How do I look? Can you see me? Yes. I am going to read, and then maybe you can't see me. I don't walk like that, waddling like a duck. Quack, quack. Okay. Hopefully this will work. I can't see myself when I read, but that's okay. Okay, 1, termini. You know what? My collar might be covering it. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers, the index and the middle finger, and I'm going to press them here. Let me take this off so you can see. I'm going to press them here. Let me see if you can even see me. Right here. Let me take this off so you can see me better. Right. Okay. Right here. See how I'm doing it? You're going to do both at the same time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's the termini. You start there for the first lymphatic massage, 1 out of 7. Next is tonsillar. And you do it with that rate. You know, I say 1, 2, 3. Not too fast, not too slow, just steady and gentle. Second, number 2 is tonsillar. So, I can see. So you take your 2 fingers again, put them here, the lymph nodes here under your earlobe or ear on your neck, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do both at the same time. And honestly, I do this, you can do this anytime, but I like to do it when I'm driving because there's a lot of wait or downtime. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And, you know, whatever, you do it maybe 30 times, 60 times. If you feel more like you have more toxins, go ahead and do them more. You know, just do them every day, whatever, just do it. That was 2 out of 7. Number 3, apical. Okay. Middle finger and ring finger. You're gonna crush your arms and put them here, like there's a tender spot like right here. Right here, like right here. I'm kind of under my shirt, so right there. 4, 5. Do both at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good for the breast. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that was the apical. That was number 3. Number 4. Okay, before the video got cut off, we just finished the apical, which was 3. Taking the 2 fingers, middle finger and ring finger here, good for the breast. Now we'll go on to 4. We're doing these specific lymphatic massages in order. Armpit, number 4. Okay, so I'm going up. That's a good pace. You can do 2 at a time, but it's really easier to do one. Well, I guess it depends on your body, like how fat or skinny you are. 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's the armpit. Number 5, cisterna chyli. Right here, like right under your bra or your, yeah, right in the middle, like right there. And the action, it looks like a J, a hook. You're going not just in, but up and in. You're hooking it. It's like this. The motion of my hand looks like scooping, like I'm drawing a J. So it's not just pushing in or going up, it's going in and up, in and up. 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to do it with 2. Cisterna chyli. Number 5 out of 7. Okay. Number 6 is groin. You know, people always say they pull the groin muscle. Well, there are lymph nodes here too. So how you're going to do that? Oh, maybe I'll stand on the chair. Okay. Oh, gee. I might be too tall. No, that's perfect. Okay. I can't see because I'm standing up here and the light is kind of blinding me. So if I don't know what you can see, I'm trying to see the computer. So you can do 2 hands on both legs at the same time, or 2 hands on one leg. What is this? The outer, kind of like where your ovaries are, your hips, your ovaries, going outer, then you're going deeper like a V, going down. So you're starting here, here, like a triangle. You're going up at an angle, going down, up, going down, and you're using your thumbs to press. So out here, groin muscles, the groin lymph nodes, lymphatics, lymph vessels. So from outer, go to inner, and I like to even do like that so I can get all the way in the middle. Okay. Oh, whoa. Let's see, where are we now? That was number 6 out of 7. Now 7, last, is the knee. Let's see. Behind the knee, so right here. So grab this. My pants are falling down. I don't want to moon you guys. It is the full moon, honestly. And with regards to parasites, that's when they detach. Why? Because they're hiding, like in the tissues and all that, but then when the full moon happens, they detach to fornicate, to make more babies, to reproduce. So you would just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, hope you can see that. It's just that action of pumping it like that with your hand. That's the knee. 7 out of 7. All right. So do those 7 lymphatic massages, exercises in that order. Woo! What is the opposite of lymph drainage? Couch potato. Sitting down. No exercise. No circulation of anything in the body, blood, lymph, toxins, oxygen. No movement of the body, muscles, bones, lymph, blood, no circulation, no fresh air, no daylight. It sounds like decay, pretty much rotting, like lazy glutton or couch potato. Stagnant, broken bone healing in a cast. Another example. That's not exactly what it is, just to give you examples. A dam. It is dammed up, blocked, stuck, locked up, congested. Okay, so why is it important? What could happen if we don't take action to rectify couch potato? Okay, 10 signs of lymphatic congestion. 10 symptoms of lymphatic congestion: fatigue, stiffness, muscle and joint pain, bloating, retaining fluid, which is edema or swelling. How many of you heard of cankles? Like, the calves and ankles, like it's very fat down there. Breast swelling during your cycle, headaches, weight gain, cold hands and feet, which means poor circulation, skin problems. Oh, that was 10. 11, cellulite. Okay. The intestines, if you don't have good circulation with your lymphatic system, it can't do its job of taking out the toxins. The intestines become inflamed and or irritated from chemical additives in food allergies, sensitivities, or a diet of too many processed foods. You can become more prone to infections and disease. The lymph fluid is slowing down. No good. No bueno. So how? How can we prevent this? How can we do lymph drainage to promote better health? And eventually, the detoxification process. Actually, this is part of the detox. Okay, so moving, exercise, any kind of exercise. Some people like to say rebounding, which is just basically like jumping on a trampoline or skipping rope, jump rope, dancing, walking, swimming, bicycling, hiking, yoga, eccentrics, Pilates, resistance or weight training. Lymph massage, which we just did with you saw me up and down on the chair. Hot cold therapy. What do I mean? Cold plunge. Like, have you seen people soaking and immersing themselves in a tub or a bath of ice? Hot cold. Using the sauna. That perspiration. It releases the toxins. Doing the sweat lodge, inipi, whatever, that's also detoxing. It's not just detoxing the physical, it's also detoxing the energetic, the emotional, the spiritual. It's purging, it's releasing. Now, with regards to the hot, cold, doing that one after the other, I'll talk more about the cold plunge at the end. Okay. Legs up the wall. That helps. It'd be great to even combine that with the diaphragmatic breathing or the deep breathing, when you slow down. I like to do both at the same time. Putting legs up the wall, it helps the lymphatic go up the body easier than when you're just standing because, gravity pulls it down. When you put the legs up the wall, it assists in pushing it up your body, and when you're laying down like that, the breathing, it helps with the parasympathetic nervous system to slow down. We need to nourish and balance, not just have this aggressive, yang, intense energy going forward and being driven all the time. That's good, that's why we have cortisol in the morning to help us rise, to awaken and start our day. However, we also need the balance of the rest, rejuvenation, the relaxation, tending, the balance of having the yang and the yin to relax and be still, to breathe slowly. Whether it's meditation for you or beating, like people get focused and really grounded and centered when they're beading or doing some type of artwork. I really enjoy doing breath sessions, which to me is like a different form of meditation. Very therapeutic, healing, slowing down. Basically, stilling, quieting the mind, the brain, the body, the brain, the nervous system. Okay, dry brushing. So let me go in order. That way, if you're taking notes, go ahead and take notes. Number 1 was movement, exercise. Number 2 was lymph massage. Number 3 is hot cold therapy. Number 4, legs up the wall. Number 5 is dry brushing. I didn't mention it because I jumped into legs up the wall with number 6, deep breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. Slow, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Number 5 is dry brushing. Number 6 is diaphragm. Let me just say deep breathing, slow, deep breathing. So going back to number 5, dry brushing, you basically just take a brush, preferably not plastic because we want to detox microplastics. You can get natural bristles. There's different kinds, but you just basically take it and there's no specific way. You just, brush yourself. I honestly don't want to go get mine right now, but you would just, your whole body, your head, your face, your body, you just rub. Like dry brushing. You can take, someone told me you can take a loofah, you can take a dry brush, or even like, those brushes for taking a bath, not a loofah sponge, but, to exfoliate, but just like a little brush for the bath. You can use like the silicone ones. You just do it on your skin, and it doesn't have to be hard or abrasive. It's just like a little light touch. It promotes circulation. It helps the lymphatics to move, to release the toxins. Okay, so that was 5, dry brushing. All over, the whole skin, everywhere. 7 is hydration, water. Hydration, water, and electrolytes. What do I mean? Like, don't do Gatorade. It has a lot of toxins, food coloring, and just other additives. You can do Element Tea, order that online. You can take the Celtic salt, the Redmond salt, like Baja Gold, mineral salts. Don't use any table salt. That's poison. Don't use that. Just buy the different salts that I mentioned, like you could use pink Himalayan salt. Other people may say, oh, that has too much lead. Whatever. There's so many pros and cons for each thing, but don't use table salt. So when I say electrolytes, you can put these salts like Celtic salt, Redmond salt, pink Himalayan salt, Baja Gold. There might be more that I didn't mention. You can just take a pinch and put it into your water, put it into your tea, put into your coffee or your juice. You can even put it with alkaline water, like lemon or lime, with cucumber and mint. God, I used to do that all the time. People would tease me at work. Oh, there she is with her cucumber and lemon water again. Yes, alkaline water. But yeah, hydration and electrolytes. You need those electrolytes. They're like potassium, calcium, magnesium. You need those. Or you can take the supplement yourself. Or get them in from natural food sources like, well, people say banana for potassium, but it really doesn't have that much. So I like to get it from other minerals such as the beef organs, grass-fed, raised well on the great land. For the minerals and electrolytes. So 7 is hydration and electrolytes. 8 is sleep. What does that mean? Okay, why is sleep important to the lymphatics and detoxification? Going to bed at a certain time, all the time, consistently, is more important than the quality of sleep for one night. consistently, same time. Going with the circadian rhythm, what's that? So I mentioned earlier in video 1 talking about when to eat, when not to eat, eating window, fasting window. Layman's terms, great simplified example is just eat when the sun goes up, stop eating when the sun goes down. Same for sleep. Just like back in the caveman days. Okay, and sleep and detoxification, the restorative connection. What does this mean? We're talking about the lymphatic system, take out the trash, moving toxins through the lymph. Glymphatic system is cleaning out the brain. So G's in George, G and lymph, glymphatics. Why is this important? Do you want to have Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, brain diseases, brain fog, memory loss? And so when it comes to your mental health, not eating at least 3 hours before sleep is key for the rest of your life. We should be taught this in school. And eating 24/7 is not good. Why? Why does this prevent brain disease, mental illness? Why is this good for your mental health? What is this glymphatic system? So we sleep about a third of our lives. During sleep, our brains get to work on detoxification thanks to the glymphatic system. This waste clearance system is actually its most active during sleep, helping to remove toxins that accumulate in the brain during our waking hours. Poor sleep can hinder this natural detoxification process, leading to the buildup of toxins that can impact cognitive function and overall health. Brain fog, anyone? So don't underestimate the power of a good night's sleep. It's not just about feeling refreshed in the morning, it's about giving your body the downtime it needs to body and rejuvenate. So when I mention, again, on a deeper level, this is from Ancestral Supplements. And now I'm going to go deeper with what I learned from Ben Azadi. Remember how I said eat at least 3 hours before sleeping? Well, if you have more hours without eating before sleeping, like 5 hours, 7 hours, even better. The plaques in the brain need to be emptied out, need to be cleaned out. This prevents dementia. This prevents all these mind-brain illnesses, mind-brain, what did I say? Alzheimer's, dementia, brain fog. It's wonderful to stop eating. You call it intermittent fasting, or even IF or IDF, intermittent dry fasting, not even drinking at certain times. Imagine someone is working, a clerk is working in the office, and she keeps getting bothered each time. Each time she's working, doing her activity, it takes time when someone always rings the doorbell and she has to go answer the door, and they just keep bothering her. That's how it is, like with your liver, with your whole system. Your body wants to rest and repair and restore itself, and it can't keep doing that if you keep opening up the pathways to eating. Eating, the digestive process, takes so much energy. So stop interrupting it and stick to closing down your eating window and starting your fasting window for good, at least 3 hours before sleep, so the glymphatic system can totally clean your brain. Because the people who have these mind diseases, such as Alzheimer's, dementia, brain fog, memory loss, all these other things that have to do with the nerves and the brain and the mind, it's because they have so much plaque and toxins in there, it never gets a chance to empty out. This is why sleep is important. This is why preparing for sleep is important, the quality of sleep. So I have implemented this in my life because I'm not just healing autoimmune diseases. I am preventing and shooting for wellness and vitality and youthfulness throughout all the years of life that I will be living. I want my quality of life, not just with my body, but with my mind and my brain, to be sharp, to be vital, to be joyful. And when people are blocked or in stress, they are in fear, they're not able to respond to life. They're not able to enjoy life. They're not able to be responsible for taking care of themselves, let alone other people, like your family members. That's awful. So let's take our power back. Let's take control of our lives. And sure, you may say, "Oh my gosh, you're so anal. You're so disciplined." Well, you know what? I don't want to just live a shitty life. I actually want to live and feel great. I want to live and be vital, youthful, powerful. I want to be well. I want to be happy. So that's why I focus and I do these things. I actually transform my lifestyle and adopt it. And keep it that way. So yeah, that's the lymphatic system. That's the connection with sleep detoxification and the restorative connection with keeping your mind, your brain functioning, your cognitive functions really sharp, keen, and well. So sleep was number 8. Okay, let me go over, in case you were taking notes, I'm going to go over the how, the 8 points again. Okay. What is pump it? Let me hear you. Lymph drainage. If you said anything related to that. Lymph circulation, movement, exercise, massage. Great. Good for you. Give yourselves a star, pat on the back. And what are the 8 points again? Or the 8 ways of how to do it? One, exercise, movement. 2, lymph massage. 3, hot cold therapy. 4, legs up the wall. 5, dry brushing. 6, I don't want to say diaphragmatic, it's hard. 6, deep, slow breathing. Deep, full, slow breathing, or diaphragmatic breathing. 7, hydration water and electrolytes. 8, sleep. Enough sleep, deep sleep. And like I said again, studies show consistent sleep at the same time is more important than the quality of sleep over one night. Consistent sleep, cumulative long term, is more has more of an influence or impact on the benefits. Sleep and the lymphatic system and the brain, clearing the brain, detoxing the brain, so you can have it sharp all the years of your life till death do us part. Okay, like I said at the end, I was going to go over the cold plunge, cold exposure. I talked about hot cold therapy in the 3rd point. Now, why is this important? Oh, that's traumatizing. You're shivering. You're so cold. Well, honestly, I dislike it so much because it's so unpleasant. However, why do I do it? Because it builds resilience. It promotes physical toughness. Well, I don't really care about like getting skinny or whatever. Like activation of brown fat that burns energy to produce heat. It regulates body temperature. It protects against insulin resistance and metabolic diseases. That is so important. That is like the heart and core and epitome of so many diseases today, chronic diseases that people don't even realize because society, schools, the doctors don't teach us that. They want to keep us on pharmaceutical drugs. Get yourselves off of that. Get yourselves healthy and well. Cure yourselves, heal yourselves, educate yourselves. like what you're doing right now in this video. We're at 25 minutes. Okay, good. What else with regards to cold exposure or cold plunge? I just call it cold exposure because you don't have to plunge and soak yourself in a tub of ice or ice cold water or in the deep sea. That's cold. You can do it in the shower, cold shower. You want to be shivering. God, I really, really, really dislike it. It's so uncomfortable. I don't like the brain freeze, but okay. What are the benefits of the cold exposure? Recover like a pro athlete. Reduce muscle soreness, accelerate the return to peak performance, muscle size and strength is your. If muscle size and strength is your goal, it's best to avoid ice baths immediately after a workout. Wait, or do it before the workout. Heart health. Okay. Sure, the cold exposure, it triggers a stress response. However, this is what builds the resilience. Regular cold exposure leads to greater parasympathetic dominance over time. Parasympathetic, the relaxation, that side of the nervous system, not the fight or flight, the down, the relaxation. This means that the body becomes better at resting and recovering. Even if cold exposure initially causes a brief stress response, significant reductions in arterial stiffness, atherosclerosis markers, and inflammation. Animal studies back this up with research showing that chronic cold exposure can even provide protection against heart attacks. Okay, some metabolic benefits of the cold exposure. Improvement in insulin sensitivity. Mental clarity and mood enhancement. Focus, alertness, mood regulation. In one study, an hour of cold water immersion at 57 degrees Fahrenheit led to a remarkable 530% increase in norepinephrine and a 250% rise in dopamine. Feel good chemicals. People like to get high, get dopamine hits, like when they eat or have sex or, something pleasurable or score or win at a game or something or a goal. Even brief cold exposure, like 3 minutes at 39 degrees Fahrenheit, air to the face, can double dopamine levels, boost mental clarity and concentration. They also have neuroprotective. Did you hear that? Protecting the nerves. Neuroprotective effects that could help safeguard neurons against damage, reducing tension, anger, and depression while boosting energy and self-esteem. Wow. I can't believe I actually saw a cold plunge kit at Walmart. I didn't even know this section existed. Lady said, it's been there for over a year. I'm like, really? Okay. Okay. Makes you feel energized, inspired, less anxious, with MRI scans showing better connectivity between brain regions involved in mood regulation. The brain adapts, building resilience and improving neuronal plasticity. Oh, that's really good. Neuronal plasticity. You want that, especially when you age and get older. You want to keep learning new things so that all the pathways in your brain, the neural plasticity, it gets stronger and you grow more. You grow more pathways. You need that. It's just like exercising your muscles. When you get older, you need to keep maintaining and building your muscles. Well, same thing for the brain. All right. So if that wasn't enough benefits for cold plunge, I don't know what else to tell you, but try it. It helps to boost your immune system, build resilience, and all that jazz. Okay. So that was the lymphatic system. Video 2 for the series of 3 videos. The encompassing title being 3 biggest mistakes people suffering with chronic autoimmune diseases do every day and how to flip it to your advantage. So the first video was eat or not to eat. This second video is pump it. The lymphatic system. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in video 3. Healing. It is all that is. Rainbow Heart Frida Beagle signing out. Hi again, guys. Rainbow Heart Frida Beagle here. And the title of this third video is actually it's video 3 of the series. So the title for all 3 videos is 3 biggest mistakes people suffering with chronic autoimmune diseases do every day and how to flip it to your advantage. I help people suffering with autoimmune disease with feeling pain and exhaustion all the time so that they can feel wellness, vitality, and increase their energy. Okay, so what is the topic of discussion? Can you see this? Remember Pac-Man and Atari, the video games back in the 80s? Pac-Man and Crew. What does that mean? What does Pac-Man do? What does it look like? Pac-Man. Big mouth, eating. Let's get to it. What's the point? What is the meaning of this Pac-Man and Crew? Detoxification. Detoxification is the quick summary. The quick summary of it is detoxification is your body's natural process of eliminating toxins and maintaining optimal thriving health. Your liver, kidneys, skin, heart, and entire digestive system is responsible for keeping the gunk out of your body. Okay, so what are a couple other names that may be more familiar? Maybe clean, purge, cleanse, release, reset. Now, what are some examples? So, how could you detox your entire body? It requires adding probiotics to your diet, cutting out processed foods, fasting regularly with the circadian rhythm, drinking lots of water, sleeping well, sweating often, and minimizing environmental exposures. Detoxing can be done in many different kinds of ways. You just have to find what's right for you. It can be done with fasting, water cleanses, saunas, and each body, everybody's body is different and at different points in time. So you just gotta figure it out for yourself for your needs at that point in time. What are 3 signs that you need to detox? Fatigue, bloating, or having digestive issues. These are signs that your body is struggling to process the toxins. Detox can help you regain balance and improve your health. What's the opposite of detoxification? The opposite. Non-example. You eat food, it goes in the body. No bowel movement. No waste. It does not get excreted. It just stays in the body. That causes imbalance, dysfunction. The waste needs to get out, otherwise there's chaos, disease. It wreaks havoc in the brain and the body. Another Opposite would be, well, not totally opposite, but non-example would be a cleanse, a juice cleanse, a green juice cleanse. Why? Because it's superficial, it's just short term. Detoxification is long term, it's deeper, it's cellular, it's all the systems in your body, not just the gut. Usually when people talk about cleanses, it's more superficial and just focuses on the gut. But the detox is deeper and affects everything in entirety. Okay, another non-example would be accumulating, piling up toxins in your body through food, air, the water, your skin, body products, fumes of plastics, carpets, etc., without releasing them from your system or fast enough to be cleansed or balanced. Another example of non-example, or the opposite, is too much toxins causing autoimmune disease, chronic disease due to cellular inflammation. What does this mean? What happens when your cells are inflamed? Nutrients is not getting into the cell. Toxins are not getting out of the cell. The cell receptor sites are too full or blocked, so the gates don't open or close when they're supposed to. Things are not going in and out of the gates or connecting to the receptor sites when they're supposed to on the cell membrane, or just imagine a circle, the cell. So when there's too much toxicity, it's overloaded. The cell is overloaded. This is what causes autoimmune disease. Things aren't working properly because there's toxic overload. So remember when I was talking about moving the body to get the lymphatic system moving, to get the waste to exit naturally from the body? And then I also talked about the brain and the lymphatic system. Why it's important to eat at least 3 hours before sleeping so that the brain gets a chance, the lymphatic system gets a chance to clean and cleanse and heal and remove the plaque from the brain to keep it functioning at optimal levels. Otherwise, people who don't do this have too much trash in their brain, and that overload of toxins causes dementia, Alzheimer's, other brain stuff like memory, loss of memory, brain fog. This metabolic health is really important and can prevent mental illness. It seems so simple, but it's a discipline that most Western allopathic doctors were not taught. Functional medicine and holistic medicine doctors know this more about the importance of fasting and metabolic health and healthy brains. I don't know about you. I know it may not be easy or pleasurable to switch over and implement this in your lifestyle as a new and norm, a regular part of your daily lifestyle. But to me, I would rather keep my cognitive function at optimal operations. So what are some examples of detoxification that I can relate to from my personal experiences? When I first started taking this detox, heavy metal and toxin detox, within the first 3 weeks of starting this heavy metal and toxin detox, I had an uncomfortable protrusion poking through my skin. It reminded me of Morgellons, or the synthetic wire or metal of some non-biological material, kind of like silicone or silicon, metal or silicon. My body finally pushed it out all the way when it was ready to dislodge and release it after 1 to 2 weeks of it emerging. It was itchy. And it finally popped out. Yes. It was meant to pop out. So my body was purging this within the first 3 weeks of me taking this this heavy metal and toxin detox. Okay, that was my first experience that I'm sharing. My second experience is bigu. In Chinese, bigu means grain. Translation, grain, like grains of rice or grains of wheat. So, what does this mean, bigu? It means fasting. 3 days of fasting, 18 days, 30 days, goes even deeper. Why 30? I'm not saying that you have to do longer fasts. I mean, there's many different kinds of fasts. Even fasting while, you're sleeping. Like you stop eating dinner, for example, at 8 p.m. or some people stop at 3 p.m. What have you, 5 p.m. Anyways, just whenever you stop eating dinner, no more eating or drinking, just shut it down, and that's your fasting window. From then till the next day, you sleep, and then till the next day when you eat again, maybe in the morning or at lunchtime. Even that is a fast, consider a fast. Just don't be eating all the time. That's called intermittent fasting, when you stop eating after dinner and don't eat till the next day. That is an example, a simple example of intermittent fasting. It's actually very healing. Now, why am I sharing this bigu, which means grain? Why am I sharing this type of fasting? Because my teacher at the time was teaching us that once you hit 30 days, no, I'm not encouraging it, but for those of you who are more advanced and experienced in fasting and have guidance, once you hit the 30 days, it goes so deep and it goes into the bone marrow. You actually cleanse and clean the bone marrow. It's like cleaning the cells of a battery. Sure, you may feel weak, but you also may feel more energized, more focused, more clarity, because you're functioning on ketones. Your body's burning fat. It's not burning sugar. And when this happens, when you're fasting, the inflammation and the pain, the disease are gone, either decreased and or gone. That's why when people do like a water fast, certain nagging pains and diseases that have been bothering them leave, because the body actually gets a chance to heal and repair itself versus expending all its energy digesting food, which takes a lot of energy. Oh yeah, I did mention the clarity. So that was my second example of detoxification. My my third example, my personal experience, is antiparasitics without binders. I was with some friends, and they talk about, not really a strong regimen, but just talk about, taking antiparasitics. Well, just because you do something, it doesn't mean that you do it the right way. This had all the parasites and pathogens, and I already had toxic overload and different autoimmune diseases. This taking taking antiparasitics without binders, it just tipped it and made the toxic overload just really tip the barrel over, that it was one of the darkest points in my life that I wanted to commit suicide. Oh, I already mentioned this in the previous videos, either video 1 and or 2. I was teaching a class in person on how to improve your eyesight naturally without surgery or glasses or contacts. And the irony of it was, my eyes looked like they were punched, and like I was in a boxing match. It was, my skin was so flared up and so much pain, so puffy, so red, so purple, and raw, no barrier. Like, imagine taking a carrot and just peeling the skin off, and you're just walking around feeling wounded. It hurts so much, like as if there's always salt and lemon in your wounds, and it just stings like heck. It's pretty isolating because the skin is a reflection of your gut. It just mirrors what's going on. So it took a little over a year, but I healed it, and it was very isolating, very depressing. Yes, it was painful physically and emotionally. It was isolating and depressing because people gather around food. They always meet up in social situations, one-on-one or in group gatherings, always around food. And when you're healing your gut, you have a leaky gut. Sorry, had to kill the bug. When you are healing the gut, you can't just eat whatever you want without any repercussions because of flares, triggering flares. Leaky gut, it's like a hose with holes, and all the blood, nutrients, toxins, poop goes through the hose, through the holes, and goes to places that it's not supposed to go, hence triggering all these, reactions, histamine reactions. It looks like you have allergic flares everywhere, all aspects, all different systems in your body, interconnected. Not fun at all. So I couldn't really eat out for a long time. I had to be really disciplined to rebuild and fix and plug in the holes, like rebuild the gut lining again so that it's strong, it doesn't have all these holes. Having a wrecked gut. Sure, I was trying to do the right thing by using antiparasitics, but I was already in a weakened state because I was dealing with toxic overload, which led to all these various autoimmune diseases that I had all at the same time. And I wasn't fully educated, and the people that I was with, some people experienced the same thing I did and others did not. It just depended on what each individual was already going through. But for me, the toxic overload totally got tipped, and it was one of the dark nights of my soul. I mean, I wanted to commit suicide. And when I was teaching this class on how to heal your vision, naturally, the irony of it was my eyesight was fine, 20/20 vision, perfect, great. It's just the skin on my eyes, it was all over my face and body. I couldn't hide it, but the skin on my eyes was so puffy, red and purple, and it was leaking, oozing plasma, like not pus, but plasma. And so here I am trying to teach about vision, and yet I could barely see clearly out of my eyes due to the flare. And at the time, you don't know when the flare at its peak, when it's at its worst, you don't know how long it's going to last. You don't know if it's going to last for 3 months or just 1 day or 3 hours. Probably the shortest is 1 day when I was going through all this. And the flare, it's raw, it hurts, it has hives, it's just, extremely sensitive, hot, inflamed, pulsating, just too much. But the point is, not only was it depressing and painful and isolating, it's embarrassing. You got to find out who the real assholes are and who the true, genuine, caring people are in your life. People say, put a cream on that or take a pill. Yeah, right. These ignorant people, they don't realize it can take years to heal a leaky gut. Luckily for me, it took a little over a year. And whether it's embarrassing, painful, it just really strengthened me on so many levels. And I learned so much because I hit rock bottom, because I was forced to. I was forced to learn so much to get out of it. What else? When I was teaching that class on how to improve my vision, my eyes were stinging even more because I put ointment to try to quell the puffiness and the inflammation on my eyes to hide it. It just exacerbated it. My eyes were stinging because the medicine went in my eyes, so I was tearing up even more, and people had to go get me Kleenex. Like, my goodness. This teacher's teaching us about eyesight, and she can't even see because her eyes are like all inflamed and stinging with medicine. Oh, my goodness. The irony of it all. Oh, I was not laughing. Honestly, I felt sorry for my neighbors because they could hear me screaming at all hours of the night because I couldn't sleep due to the pain and frustration. Funny, not so funny. But I really did transform my lifestyle and adopt it. And I'm only continue to improve and transform my lifestyle that in ways that are more conducive to health, to wellness, to my wellness, vitality, and youthfulness. So, not knowing how to do parasite cleanses properly with binders. Okay, so I'm going to get more into that. What happens if we don't do detoxification? Like, what's the importance of this? If we don't detoxify, it can increase overall inflammation, toxify the blood, increase or maintain weight gain, induce poor sleep, lead to overall stagnation. It wouldn't be good for our organs. Our blood would slow to a crawl. Life would be unsustainable. And when you have poor gut health, that's the opposite of detoxification. It's not compatible with releasing toxins, and it leads to health issues such as allergies, migraines, mental health disorders, and digestive troubles. Our bodies need regular maintenance. Have you ever seen the companies with the septic systems coming to like wells or different houses and pumping up the septic system? That's needed. That's consistent. That's regular. That's expected. That kind of cleaning up. If they don't do that, the plaque, the gunk, it just gets caked on and thicker. You know, our bodies need regular detoxing just like our toilets do. People use Riddex for toilets, so the enzymes and the bacteria eat the sewage to help her digest and dissolve the gunk, like oil, grease, and paper in the plumbing. So, what do you do to cleanse and detox your body on the inside? I'm not talking about a physical shower on the outside. I'm talking about an inner shower for all your systems inside your body, whether it be through diet, fasting, things you ingest. We don't want our bodies to get full of unwanted gunk and pathogens that cause problems such as cancers. People I know, they have diseases of the brain such as ALS, MS, Alzheimer's, dementia. They can't move, think, or talk how they want and when they want. Often they have unwanted movements and pain like tremors, inflammation, cysts, and tumors. The Rockefellers and Rothschilds bought out the medical system in the United States to control big pharma. And the education the doctors, the allopathic Western medical doctors receive, and the education that the doctors receive. So basically it got changed, it got deleted, it got distorted. misinformation. So when you ask the doctors these days certain questions, they don't want to answer it because one, they weren't trained. Two, they weren't trained, so they don't know. Two, they don't want to steer you in that direction. They want to steer you in the direction that they were trained to make profits for themselves and for their companies. It is what it is. In the 1800s, there were medical books documenting deworming protocols for patients as a normal, frequent, regular practice. Yes, there were. And I've been trying so hard to find this again. I will one of these days. So people who partook in these antiparasitic practices did not have cancers compared to the people who did not partake regularly in these deworming protocols in the 1800s. There are books, there are historical medical books that show this, but like I said, when the Rothschilds and Rockefellers bought this out, them and their other rich people friends colluded and changed the system. Look up the Flexner report. You can also look up, this is just an overall, there's a lot of articles that is very heavy in it, but this is just something like a quick synopsis or summary. The beyondwellnessstore.com, you can look there, and the title is How the Medical Industry Hijacked the Rockefeller Takeover, the Suppression of Natural Healing. Okay, so cancers, that's just a name. That's just a name that they give to certain diseases that affect each organ. This change, this is new. Back in the days, the medical doctors, back in the 1800s and earlier, they would just call it parasites, eggs, worms. And in the United States, it got deleted. The information got changed in the medical system. But when you go outside of the United States, when you go to other countries, they normally take herbs, teas, protocols, medicines to cleanse parasites daily. Like, this is a norm. It's without question. It's just something they do. It's just here in the United States, they would tell you, the doctors would tell you, oh, you're crazy. That doesn't exist. That's because that's how they're trained. They don't know anything about it because they were not trained on it, and they want to lead you in the opposite direction and continue to profit off of people instead of you learning how to heal yourselves. Well, I'm here, Bear's here, to let you know it is possible. Once you actually get it, you can figure out how to heal each and every diseases that you have. Dr. Hulda Clark, she has many books, and she says that every disease can be healed by removing two things: parasites and toxins. Why parasites and toxins? Well, they go hand in hand. The parasite feeds off of and thrives with the toxin, and they're usually paired off together. A certain type of parasite, the specific, genus, species, specific parasites thrive and usually pair off with certain metals and or certain chemicals, certain toxins, like, I'm trying to think, let's just say rubbing alcohol and a certain kind of parasite. They go together, and usually they would have an affinity for a specific organ. And they just named it whatever disease they named it today. But really, they're just all, the root cause is just all parasites. Sure, you can think this is controversial. You can do your own research. You can stop watching the video. However, I'm gonna keep moving on, and for those of you who are really serious or maybe even just desperate in healing your cancers, your diseases, whatever health condition that you or your loved ones may have, whether it be brain and or body, let's move forward and let's unpack this. Okay, so this information is hidden or forbidden knowledge because big pharma and who follow the breadcrumbs, follow the money. Whoever's in charge, they would lose money if we remembered these truths. We are remembering how to heal ourselves as a society, as a world. So when the body forms cysts, like it envelops, you think we are told these fibroids, these cysts, these little lumps, these clumps, whatever. These are actually the body's way of protecting itself. These protective covers envelop the parasites and the eggs. Otherwise, when people do surgery, it's not good. It's not a good thing because it cuts it open and then it just releases all these parasites and eggs into the bloodstream. They call this cancer when it's just merely parasites. Parasites and toxins feed off of each other. This is why they must be eliminated at the same time, not one at a time. The cast of characters is like a syndicate, like a crime ring, a mafia, a criminal ring. If you arrest one, all the neighborhood is going to hear about it and try to flee. Oh no, I better run away. So you eradicate them all at the same time so no one flees. Everyone is accounted for. This slime nest, or the biofilm, the slime nest of pathogens is a breeding ground for multiple offenders such as viruses, toxins, bacteria, parasites, biofilm, metals, chemicals, endotoxins, die-off. Die-off meaning like the dead bodies of the parasites. And pathogens, and continues to create more of themselves because they feed off of one another. Like, for example, when something dies, something else is excreted, other chemicals, other metals, and they just keep feeding each other. It's kind of disgusting. It's an ecosystem. Now let me show you some video clip here. Okay, we're at 32 minutes.
Here's the clip. More evidence. Here's some evidence. Did you guys see that? Let's go ahead and play that again real quick. Yep. That is going to be a tumor.
Gross.
And when, there we go, worms. Those are worms inside the tumor. That's why the body walls the parasites off. It actually becomes a defense mechanism to the parasites and the eggs. So the body is not going to attack it because the immune system isn't going to attack its own cyst or tumor.
Pause it and read the
all
text.
tumors are going to be parasites.
So here's the document, which is a confidential document, which is actually 1948. So let's read it. There are reasons to believe that specific biological characteristics of malignant tumor tissues and parasite comprise the following elements, and it lists them right there. And then further here. So endoparasites and malignant tumors resemble each other in many respects by reason of similar conditions under which they grow and exist. This suggests long ago the idea in regard to parasitic.
The microparasites described by Dr. Weber that you can see here can be found in the tissue of all cancer patients. Some examples. Here you can see a blood sample that has been dried over a flame. The patient suffers from leukemia. Here you see the blood sample of a patient suffering from liver cancer. Here the blood of a patient with bladder cancer. And this is tissue from the bladder carcinoma. You can clearly see the lively movements of the microbes. Here, the diagnosis is that of lymph node metastasis. This is an almost mature gamete. He can be found in the space between the cells. And here a blood sample after mammal surgery. You can see a dying leukocyte. Patient is suffering from breast cancer. Diagnosis, cell complex of an uterus tumor.
So you see when they zoom into this clip.
All right. All right. Where are we? See, it doesn't matter what disease you call it. Each organ that's affected shows parasites. And what does this mean for us? What does this mean for me? What does this mean for you in your health, in your healing journey? In 36 minutes. What does this mean? It means you can take your power back. You can reclaim your health. Your health is your wealth. If you don't have health, how can you enjoy life, yourself, your family, your loved ones? How can you enjoy the experiences you're having in life? I mean, do you want to go through life being bitter because you're in pain? You have the responsibility to heal yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, socially, politically. I mean, life can be rich, life can be full. It doesn't have to be limited in poverty consciousness and this division and war and unity and lack. When I say abundance and prosperity, I mean, it doesn't have to be struggle. You can feel pleasure, ease, expansion, joy. I feel like you have more than enough in everything, whether it be health, approval, self-confidence, self-esteem, love. You know, too many people I know in the world are bitter. They push people away. It's all this self-hatred. It's this perception of lack. I'm here to remind you that you have the power to make yourselves happy, healthy, and whole. You are allowed to. Let me repeat that. You are allowed to be happy, healthy, and whole. See, I know I'm talking about detoxification and parasites. And why am I going off on this tangent? Because most people will not heal themselves because they don't feel worthy of feeling these good, positive things such as happy, whole, and healthy, wealthy, joyful. They don't feel like they're allowed to feel those positive things. They don't feel worthy of it. People have to heal their traumas. People have to heal their self-worth and their self-esteem. No one is going to do that for them. That's self-responsibility. All right. Let that sink in. So how can we begin to apply these right away? These principles of detoxification. How do I detox my entire body? Okay, it requires adding probiotics to your diet, cutting out processed foods, fasting regularly with the circadian rhythm, drinking lots of water, sleeping well, sweating often, minimizing environmental exposures. I feel like I already said that. How many times have I said that? Okay. How else can we detox? Oh, I hope you're taking notes, by the way. Get your pens and papers out. Remove all seed oils. remove processed foods, stock up on foods that are whole foods without chemicals or toxins, as you know. Start implementing 1 or 2 lymphatic drainage activities. Choose from sauna, dry brushing, rebounding massage, hanging upside down, feet up on the wall, and exercise. You should be doing movement regularly every day on a daily basis. If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay. So I mentioned how to detox the entire body. All those different things. The diet, the exercise. Now, another level with the diet. Switch to organic. Look up the Dirty Dozen. See what you can afford. Last but not least, use detox and antiparasitics regularly. Here's the meat and potatoes, guys. Yes, get your pens and pencils out so you can take notes or whatever. Typing it wherever you take notes, however you take notes. What is a cleanse versus detox? So in layman's terms, a cleanse is just superficial, shorter term, and generally just focuses on the gut. A detox is long term, deeper, and detoxes the whole body on a cellular level. So all organs, tissues, and systems. Will doing a detox deplete my minerals? Okay, so there are many things you can use for detoxification. I will show you specifically what I have here. There's so many types of natural detoxes, like from chlorella, spirulina, zeolite, fulvic, activated charcoal, clay, different kinds of clay, like red clay, bentonite clay. There's diatomaceous earth. These are all like earth stuff, like clays, herbs, plants, minerals. These are all natural. And that's what's going back to, folks. Going back to the roots. What's the roots of disease? Parasites. How to heal, how to get rid of the parasites from your body. Going back to the roots, the earth, the plants, the herbs, ancient wisdom. How do I know what to go with? Like, how do I know what I can trust, who I can trust, and if I'm doing it right, and if it's not, if this herbal remedy is not toxic? How do we know? I like to go with people I trust because I got scammed. No, it's not cool to play on people who are desperate and wanting to heal things that are dire. Like, I want to keep living and I want to be able to wipe my own ass. I know I keep saying that, but I literally wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't get serious and figure out how to heal and get rid of certain parasites for multiple different diseases. And yeah, it sucks, but this is my training, and I wouldn't have the motivation or drive to learn and to be urgent enough to heal it if I didn't go through all these dire things. Sure, I shared some examples. Other examples I didn't share. And for sake of the video getting too long, I'm not going to share it anymore about that. But I did get scammed. And so it's very important for me to go with people and company and products that I know, like, and trust. Trust is such a high value, a number one priority for me in my life. Trust. I don't need to be scammed, wasting my money, or poison myself with fake products. I'm lucky I'm a smart cookie and I figure things out fast. So, I'm just grateful for that. Don't want to be poisoning myself with scam shit. Okay. What's a cleanse versus a detox? We went over that. Will it deplete my minerals? Well, like I said earlier, there's so many different kinds of detoxification ways, protocols, and binders. Like natural food binders, like, for example, chia seed, ground flaxseed, psyllium husk, those are natural food binders. Let me share with you what I'm using now, because honestly, I was scared to use antiparasitics for fear of having a leaky gut again and going through all the excruciating emotional and physical pain of all the skin eruptions and just walking around wounded like no skin barrier, like as if I was a carrot and someone peeled the skin off the carrot and just felt stinging, like there was lemon and salt all over my wounds. Ugh, not cool, folks, but I'm just so grateful to be out of that experience. And, I know how to handle and manage it when or if it ever arises in myself or other people. So, hard knocks of life. Will it deplete my minerals? I didn't answer it directly because I talked about all these other different types of detoxification. What I recommend is to stick with one protocol and not mix it up, and just stick with one and do it right and go all the way. You can do other protocols too, but just do one at a time is what I'm trying to say. Don't do it the wrong way and then have an explosion of pain, leaky gut, and pathogens and toxic overload like I did, because I did the antiparasitics without the binders. And I was already in a weakened state and toxic overload before I even did use the antiparasitics. So that's what really tipped it over. Okay, will it deplete my minerals? It's always good to remineralize as a general rule of thumb when detoxing. Sea moss, sea vegetables, beef glands, beef organs, salts, minerals themselves as supplements and as food sources. I will show you what I'm using now because I wanted to do it the right way with binders, antiparasitics, which kills the parasites, with binders simultaneously together, harmoniously. And what was I going to say? I trust this company. Sure, there are many kinds of parasites and different kinds of herbs that will kill certain parasites. Let me show you how to start off. This 3-pack here is the toxin, heavy metal, and toxin detox. Look at this kit of 3. Oh, it's kind of dark, but that's okay. This is called Fulvic Minerals Plus. These are all from Touchstone Essentials. This is, Fulvic Minerals Plus. This remineralizes. This puts the minerals back into your body, into your system, so that you're not harming yourself. Because when you take the binders, these are zeolite binders. When you take the binders, it not only pulls out the toxins and the bad stuff, like glyphosates, microplastics, heavy metals, what have you. Different kinds of binders pull out different kinds of toxins. When you take these, this is for the gut. This is called Pure Body. This is zeolite. And the size of it, yes, Touchstone has used third-party laboratories to test, to actually have research and test all their products to record the data. I'm tired. This is what I do at like midnight, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, because it's the only time I can get it done. So forgive me if I'm not cranking the words out as fast as I was before or at other times. Pure Body, and this is Pure Body Extra. Pure Body Extra is a spray. You use these 2 weeks at least, but 4 weeks, 1 month, even better, before you start taking the anti-parasitic ParaShield. These are all from Touchstone Essentials. Okay, so 2 weeks minimum, but ideally you take this for 1 month. This is, let me show you the kit. This is Fulvic Minerals Plus. It has red algae, Fulvic derived from red algae, plus some zeolite. Fulvic Minerals Plus. This puts the good minerals back in, so you don't get depleted. These 3 comes as a kit, all 3 of them together. This is zeolite. Pulls out the heavy metals and toxins. Zeolite is known specifically for pulling out heavy metals. This Pure Body is for the gut because it's a bigger size. Like I said, tested by third party in the lab. It has statistics, data shown. Research. Yes, I've looked at them. This is also zeolite. This is called Pure Body Extra. This one is called Pure Body. This is called Pure Body Extra. X because it's nano size. This is a spray. These 2 are droplets. Pure Body Extra is a spray because it's nano size. What does that mean? The zeolite, this is zeolite and water. This is zeolite and water. However, this is bigger molecules. The nano, the spray, is tinier molecules, so it goes into the bloodstream and it spreads. It detoxifies the whole body. This size of zeolite detoxifies the gut. This size detoxifies the whole body because it's smaller, so it gets to go beyond the gut, into the bloodstream, into everywhere else in the body, brain and body. So you take 4 sprays of these 3 times a day, because it's effective for 6 hours. So you would like to do it every 6 hours, or just, morning, noon, and night. You do this 4 droplets 3 times a day as well. So you can do them all at the same time. This you can do 1 dropper full 1 time a day, or 1 dropper full 2 times a day. And this is refrigerated. So that's the kit. There's your binders. You start taking this 1 month before, at least 1 month before, I took it for more, before you do the antiparasitics, which is the ParaShield. I'm going over the timeline with you. Then I'll go over a little bit of the other stuff. So this proprietary herbal cleanse blend, it includes clove bud, ginger root, black walnut hull, barberry root, wormwood leaf, sweet wormwood leaf, and yuzu essential oil. Gotta take this for 21 days on, and then for the rest of the month, for 7 days, you have to be off, take a break from it. 7 days off because the wormwood is harsh on the kidneys. The kidneys need a break from the wormwood. And you do that for 3 months, or if you like to call it 3 rounds. Why? Because the cycle of the parasites is 75 days. So you have to do it for a minimum of 3 months. So when you get the ParaShield, make sure you get at least 3 bottles. 1 bottle is for 1 month or 21 days. ParaShield is the antiparasitic, the orange one. And these you take daily, non-stop, simultaneously. You take it 1 month before the ParaShield or antiparasitic, and you continue to take it daily during the 21 days of taking the ParaShield, and also on the 7 days off when you take a break or take off of the ParaShield. So you take this every day nonstop. The Fulvic Minerals Plus, and this has Fulvic Minerals and Zeolite. This is Zeolite bigger molecules for the gut. This is Zeolite nano-size, smaller molecules for the whole body. Okay. Let's see your questions. What is the Touchstone proprietary process? So raw zeolite, it's basically sediment, it's earth. It's like earth, clay, a rock. Excuse me. Raw zeolite is inert, ineffective. It doesn't do anything or react with anything because it's already full. What does that mean? I'm talking about like the ions and the attraction, and its carriers are already full of negatively charged ions and minerals. Raw zeolite needs to be cleaned first in order to be useful as a binder. Like its arms are full, it needs to be emptied out first. So that's what Touchstone Essentials does in its proprietary process. It cleans. What was that? Something fell? It cleans the zeolite so that zeolite is able to attract and bind, since it's a binder, bind and pull out the toxins. That's why it's important to be drinking a lot and resting and exercising and sleeping enough and hydrating. Because when you're detoxing, you want to get it out. Get all the crap out. Okay, raw zeolite needs to be cleaned first in order to be useful as a binder to our human body for pulling out toxins. Hydrated aluminum silicate is the zeolite Touchstone Essentials uses. Added to the zeolite are positive ion minerals, calcium, magnesium, potassium, as their proprietary process. When you take the Fulvic Minerals Plus, it puts in good minerals made from red algae, and their proprietary zeolite, basically a clay, is also added to it. When you take zeolite for the gut, pure body droplets, it detoxes the gut. When you take nano-sized zeolite spray, pure body extra, it goes into bloodstream to detox the whole body. What toxins are pulled out, you ask? Microplastics, chemicals, toxins, metals, mold, parasites, pathogens, bacteria, viruses, and all their slimy biofilms they hide in, reside in, feed off of, proliferate in, and are protected in. Glyphosate, endocrine disruptors, bad hormone metabolites that need to be excreted and pulled out, you name it. Is it safe to take daily and long term? Yes. Yes, because like I said, they put in the calcium, the magnesium, the potassium. They put in, and the fulvic. They put in all these minerals, so you don't need to worry about your minerals being depleted. And if you want, of course, keep adding all this good stuff into your diet, such as probiotics and other minerals from like sea vegetables that has a lot of minerals, like sea moss and other sea vegetables like seaweed, things like that. Are there any precautions? Well, the company doesn't say this, but I will say this. If you have mold sickness in your body, take heed, because mold is a whole other beast in and of itself. Because you don't just eradicate it, mold actually fights back and creates more toxins than before you start killing it, which can be highly uncomfortable. To be safe, consult a mold-literate doctor. What detox symptoms? What are detox symptoms? And how do I ease into the detox process? When the body clears itself physiologically and energetically, whether it be through healing treatments like massage, Reiki, acupuncture, or binders like Zeolite and antiparasitics, the body is expected to experience detox symptoms. The more heavy the load of toxin that you have, the better it could be to take it slower in dosage and dosage amount and frequency. Like, for example, instead of taking 4 sprays 3 times a day, you could decrease it to like 1 spray 3 times a day and up the dosage and frequency as long as you can handle it, as long as it's comfortable. You don't want it to be so uncomfortable that you just stop the detox overall. And when I said that for the spray, I actually meant it for everything else. Like instead of 4 droplets 3 times a day, 1 or 2 dropperfuls 3 times a day, 4 sprays 3 times a day, you could do cut in half, maybe 2, maybe 1, maybe 3. Feel it out. See what your body is going through that day, that hour. Okay. Okay, so I did mention lowering the dosage and the frequency. If you need to. How do you know if you need to? Like, for example, when in the beginning I was going through such uncomfortable symptoms, like I was feeling like weak and unstable and low blood sugar and just extremely fatigued, exhausted, and whether you call it detox symptoms, uncomfortable discomfort, or Herxheimer, it doesn't matter what you call it. What I'm just saying is when you have these uncomfortable symptoms, you can ease it by decreasing the dosage and or the frequency. Why? Because you want to get to a place where the uncomfortable symptoms are more manageable and you can still function in your daily life to like go to work and do daily living activities. That's what I'm talking about. Like if it's just mild, you can handle it, that's okay. But if it's too much, too overwhelming, that's when you want to try to tweak it. You can also extend the treatment longer term so you can handle the uneasiness and go the long haul successfully rather than quitting because it's too much suffering to handle, too intense in a shortened amount of time. Headaches, body muscle aches, lethargy, brain fog, nausea, weakness, shakiness could be possible detox symptoms. Think of quitting sugar, coffee, caffeine, or drugs after having your system regulated for years or decades. The body has to readjust to its thermostat to a more clean lifestyle. Change is usually uncomfortable, and if it's done too intensely without support. What kind of support? What do I mean by support? Number 1, awareness. That's why I'm talking about this. Number 2, taking supportive actions to minimize detox symptoms. That can bring you more peace of mind and ease to your detox process. The support actions are what we just discussed prior to detox. The first supportive action we discussed is to eat or not to eat. That was in video 1. The second supportive action we discussed is pump it. Oh, shoot. Pump it. The lymphatic system, movement within and without your body. Lymphatics and filtration. The third and final supportive action is this video. Oh, fell on the floor. Oh, I'm not going to find the page. It's already late. It's dark. I'm not going to look for the page. What I was going to hold up is for the third and final supportive action, Pac-Man and crew. Pretend I'm holding it up. In other words, detox and antiparasitics. Antiparasitics, detox, the binders. Okay, so the antiparasitics, you take this ParaShield for 21 days, and then you get off of it for 7 days, for at least 3 months or 3 rounds. Like I said, 75-day cycle for the parasites. You know, they keep dying, they keep making babies, there's eggs. So that's why you have to keep going for 3 rounds at least, minimum. After that, oh, and that's for people who are just doing a general cleanse, a general detox. For people who have chronic issues, chronic diseases, you can do longer and more heavy loads. Like, instead of 3 months, you can do like 6 months or a year. Figure it out along the way. So the 3 rounds or the 3 months, that's for people who are just doing a general cleanse. But if you have diseases and you have more toxic overload, like cancer, autism, clearing yourself of vaccinations, you probably want to do it for the longer term. Doing this for 6 rounds or 6 months or 1 year or 12 months. It's safe as long as you have the 7 days off each and every round to give your kidneys a rest from the wormwood. You can do a liver flush on the off days. What do I mean? The off days for the ParaShield. The 7 days. You're on for 21, off for 7. That's round 1. Round 2, on for 21, off for 7. That's, did I say round 1? Round 1, round 2, round 3. So it's just repetitive. I hope that was clear. So month 1 or round 1, 21 days on ParaShield, 7 days off. Start of round 2, 21 days on, 7 days off. Start of round 3, 21 days on, 7 days off. End of round 3. And then just repeat, rinse and repeat for like, if you need to, 6 months, 1 year, whatever. Until your symptoms improve, your cancer goes away, or the parasites are all gone or dead. And it's not just that. It's regular maintenance. Once you cleared the big chronic disease, the big overload. Oh, I said you can do a liver flush on the off days. The off days of the antiparasitic or the ParaShield is the 7 days. Liver flush is usually, well, you can call it day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 1 is the preparation with the pectin and apples and or apple juice. Day 2 is when you actually take the solution, the smoothie of, the Epsom salts and all that, the other stuff like the olive oil and the grapefruit juice, the grapefruit. And then the 3rd day is the diarrhea day, expulsion day. So within those 7 days off, plan to fit in the 3 days for your liver flush. And you don't have to do it each and every time because it'll pull it out more. It'll pull the parasites and toxins out even more on your off days. But you can also figure it out, like for each individual, like what your body needs. You can do muscle testing. You can use your intuition and muscle testing, kinesiology. I don't do the liver flush each and every round. I have to figure out when I'm supposed to do it and when I'm supposed to take a break from it, the liver flush. It's great to clear the vaccines, heal autism and other chronic diseases like autoimmune diseases, which is basically toxic overload, imbalance, and cancers, basically infection of parasites or to overload of parasites. That's why it's great to do it longer term, this protocol. So I show you the herbs, antiparasitics, herbal antiparasitics, and I show you the binders. The zapper is the second solution to killing parasites in addition to the herbs. The zapper, there's many names, different makes and models. The zapper, the Rife machine, the frequency generator. It doesn't matter what you call it. They all do the same thing. And there's different settings like the frequency, the hertz, because each parasite will be killed at a certain range. So you adjust the machine so that you can do the zapping a certain number of times. Each parasite and paired toxin with the parasite that thrive off of each other has an affinity for a specific organ. They call this name a disease when it's just parasites. For example, diabetes, Parkinson's, pancreatic cancer. Every parasite has a frequency that it can be killed at. There's also a protocol for zapping for how long, how many minutes per session, over how many weeks or months. This will be continued for later by me. So stay tuned if you want to know. I know it takes me a while, but I don't have a date, but this will be continued for later. Meaning the zapping part. The zapping part to kill the parasites. Right now, I'm just showing you the antiparasitics with the binders. The herbal antiparasitics. So if you want major savings on your first order, use my links to receive the major savings. To your health, reclaim your power. If you want to study more of this, Dr. Hulda Clark. She's she's my teacher, and there's other people. I don't have all their names off the top of my head, but like you can go and become a patron of our Patreon, patreon.com/Bear and Rainbow Shamanic Healers. And I think it's $15 a month. You can see the other proponents, the other doctors who already know that parasites are cancers and how to get rid of them, how to kill them, how to heal your body, how to heal all the diseases in your body by getting rid of these parasites, pathogens, and toxins. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have gotten something out of this. And, gosh, it's a little over an hour already. Hour and 13 minutes. What else do I need to say? I guess that's it. Let me just recap. Oh, you know what? Did I go over everything? Or did I just start talking? Let me see. If you want to know more about what happened with the medical system and how it got eradicated and changed and distorted and misinformed for from the 1800s to now. Follow the breadcrumbs, follow the money. And look up certain keywords like how the medical industry was hijacked, the Rockefeller takeover, the suppression of natural healing. Look up deworming protocol, medical history books, 1800s. Heck, you may even find it faster than me finding this research. And look at parasites. Look up the books. Look up these keywords. Look up these keywords with deworming protocols. And, just educate yourselves. You don't have to believe what I tell you. I want you to do your own research and figure out what works for you. You'll never know until you try. So I'm just letting you know I'm really impressed and healing. I've healed so many of my autoimmune diseases. It's not even funny. It's like before one even ends 100%, another training, another challenge comes up. It's like, are you kidding me? This is like, give me a break, universe. But anyways, I'm here. I know this is controversial for some people, but for those of you who already know and believe in this stuff and, it resonates with you, feel free to reach out, ask me questions. And I do have my links there. Like I said, it'll totally help you out. How much is it? I think it's like 50 to 75% off for the first order. It's a big savings. So use my links. That way you can really benefit off of the first order. And remember, this is something that you'll be using daily, these binders, the Zeolite and the Fulvic. And then this, I know what I was going to say now with regards to the full moon. What was I going to say even before that? I'm like thinking of two things at the same time. After you're done with a big chunk of healing, like your very first cleanse, whether it be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, what have you. After that, you don't have to take this for a big chunk of 3 months again so soon. What you can do is just take this for 7 days. Yeah, it's flipped, it's switched. Instead of 21 days, only for 7 days. And take it around the same time revolving around the full moon. Why? Because studies have shown, and I know this is disgusting, but from my own personal experience as well, I can attest to it. Yeah, the studies are right. The parasites detach during the full moon, so they're more vulnerable and they're weaker. They detach from the gut and the body and different parts of the body wherever they're at. Because, there are many different systems, whether it be skin, blood, brain, different organs, the gut. See, the point is they detach not just on the full moon, but like before and after, during the full moon. And it's really disgusting. Like I said, I can attest. I can feel it. It's gross. It's disgusting. You can see it, whether it be exiting from different parts of your body, like the poop, wherever, here, there, everywhere, up, down, all around, everywhere. And other people have taken this for rounds of not just 3, but 4 or longer, because they still saw worms. They were still pooping out worms. Yeah, because they keep replicating, they keep making babies. There's eggs, there's cycles. So you don't get all of them in the first round. You have to do it in 3 rounds. But if there's still more, keep going. It's okay. It's safe. You can keep going for even a 4th round or a 4th month. So the first time you take it is the big kahuna. And then after that, you can just do maintenance, like, okay, do it maybe a 2nd time that year. Who knows, maybe a 3rd time. It really depends on you and your lifestyle and how much toxins you keep taking in and not letting go of. But like I said, once you're done with the first big chunk, you don't have to do the 21 days. You can just take this ParaShield antiparasitic for 7 days in and around, revolving around the full moon. Because the parasites are most vulnerable because they detach, because they want to replicate, they want to have sex. They want to fornicate, they want to copulate. Ah! And they're gross. You can feel them. They're itchy and disgusting. You can see them, you can feel them. Yeah. So when I'm done with my big chunks of time with this and rounds, I will be doing that just the 7 days around the full moon, scheduling this around the full moon on the 7 days. Oh, I know what else I wanted to share. Why did I take longer? So with regards to the full moon, this is a different aspect now. How to schedule it on your calendar. So find out all the dates of the full moon for the next year, for the next 2 years. Yes, go that long. Because I could have taken it 2 weeks, 1 month after. I could have started my antiparasitics 1 month after this heavy metal and toxin detox kit. But I didn't. I waited longer because when I looked at the full moon, it was more in alignment with, I put myself and my schedule with these medicines, with these supplements. Okay, I need a calendar. I don't have it. No, I could get it. How do I explain this? Diagram. We're at 1 hour and 21 minutes. Let me see how I can diagram this. Seven days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Okay, this is a calendar that I just drew right now on the fly. Let's pretend, I know there's no month or dates, but let's pretend this is the full moon. So you'd want to schedule your days for taking the antiparasitic 1 week before the full moon. It's taking me a while remembering all the details, and it's, like I said, it's late. Oh, what does Rainbow do at midnight, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning? Do stuff like this because my chance. It's my me time. It's my chance to actually do this for you. So, you see this? Let's pretend this is the full moon. Let's go backwards. Okay, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does it have to be exact? No. Approximate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So start taking this antiparasitic named ParaShield from Touchstone Essentials on this day. Was that the day? Or that? Well, anyways, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why? Why 1 week before the full moon? Because that way you're really killing them. It's like a 1-2 punch, like you're boxing. It's using strategies. Letting it be really strong. Like, what I'm trying to say is, you really don't want this to be your off days, because this is when they're most vulnerable and weakest, because they detach from wherever, the gut, the anus, wherever, the whatever organs and tissues. They detach on the full moon. Actually, on or around the full moon, a little bit before, a little bit after. So that's when you really want to be on the ParaShield, so you can really knock them out. So don't start it on the full moon day. Start it before the full moon day, like 1 week approximately, 1 week or so before the full moon, because you want to be on the ParaShield before the full moon, like even 4 days before, if not 7 days, and a little bit even after. You get it? Because if you are on your off days, see, the ParaShield and the parasites, you got to take it for 21 days on, 7 days off. The most important thing is, do not be off of ParaShield around this time, because that's the best time to kill them, because they're vulnerable. Okay? That's what I wanted to say. Now it feels like it's over. Dun dun dun! If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I hope I explained that clearly, well enough. If not, well, you can figure it out with other people and or ask me. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you gained a lot from this, and now I can die without the song being stuck or trapped in my soul. Ah! Check out my links. Feel free to share your experiences and or ask me questions. And as always, do be respectful. We all have different perspectives. We all have different ways of getting to our successes. Okay, bye-bye for now. Healing, it is all that is.